You have never been on this show.
Well, I didn't know you did this.
These are the 10 times Tim Conway walked onto Johnny Carson's Tonight Show couch and reduced the king of late night to tears of laughter. Conway never qualified as an ultra-frequent guest, which is exactly why every booking carried genuine event-level anticipation. Some of the moments coming up were carefully prepared bits, while others were unscripted surprises that turned into pure gold the second Tim refused to break character. Number 1. Tim Conway's first appearance.
He's a funny man, and if you saw the Emmys the other night, he won an Emmy for his great work on the Carol Burnett show. Tim Conway.
I wasn't going to come out all evening that night. I felt, what the heck, it was a lot better in there than going out and eating with Harvey. But,
September 15th, 1977 was Tim Conway's very first appearance on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. Carson opened the segment by noting that after 16 years of his hosting, this was somehow Tim's debut on the show.
Look, I've been doing this show now at the end of this month. We have an anniversary show coming up. We're starting our 16th year.
Mm-hmm.
You have never been on this show.
That's true.
And I know we have asked you before.
Well, I didn't know you did this.
Without missing a beat, Tim deadpanned about his and Johnny's relation. That single line set the tone for the entire decade of Conway-Carson appearances that followed.
Sure, now we've known each other, 4 or 5 years, and you have never said what you do, and I never asked you, so I figured whenever I came over the house, you just wanted people in the business coming over there eating and running films and things, so but they mentioned it the other day that this is what you do.
This is what I do for a living.
Nice. Yeah, got a band and everything, it's really good.
The premise itself, that Tim, despite being personal friends with Johnny for years, had no clue Carson hosted a TV show, completely disarmed the typical first-time guest energy.
Do we have to do something, do we? We have to pause occasionally in our show.
Oh, boy.
To sell something.
Well, I've never seen it before. This is exciting.
Right. And we'll do this. We'll come right back with
You do this every night?
chagrinful. Yes, most of the time. I'm a hero.
Carson laughs uncontrollably throughout the entire segment.
But you have a large family. 6.
Is it that many?
6.
Yeah, I guess it's 6. I don't.
6.
Well, they're not brought to me till they're 10. So.
Uploaded on September 28, 2023, the clip on official Carson channel has crossed 10.5 million views, by far the most watched Conway on Carson clip ever posted online. To this day, it ranks as one of the funniest first appearances in Tonight Show history. Number 2. Tim Conway gets his tie stuck.
Would you welcome, please, Tim Conway? Tim temporarily detained.
At number 2, we have September 26, 1985. And before Tim Conway even reached the guest chair, his necktie became wedged in a paper towel dispenser inside the Tonight Show's backstage men's room. The cameras caught him stuck there, tethered to the wall. Johnny tried to help Tim get his tie unstuck, but Tim, of course, maintained complete deadpan throughout.
Did you get it on there? This is not going to work. Oh, okay.
He eventually walked onto the stage with a big piece of the dispenser still trailing from his tie. At one moment, he suggested simply cutting the tie off, then, with perfect timing, made deadpan comedy.
You're a silly person.
Yeah, sorry about being late. I really am. I hope I didn't hold you up. Fortunately, I didn't get it in the toilet. I've been, Oh, I'm sorry to see that. Great. This was a $3 tie. Fine. Certainly would. Yeah.
And Johnny is visibly wiping tears across the entire segment, routinely cited as one of the most replayed, unscripted moments in late-night television history. It was unplanned, it was real, and it represents the kind of pure, unrehearsed comedy you simply cannot manufacture. Number 3. The Lyle Dorf.
Tonight, I'm going to be talking to the world-famous jockey, Lyle Dorf.
This is the single most consequential Tim Conway appearance on Johnny Carson's stage. January 3rd, 1986. Tim was promoting his film, The Long Shot, reminiscing about his real-life days as an exercise boy at the Cleveland racetracks.
Didn't you used to want to be a jockey one time?
I was an exercise boy. Yeah, in Cleveland. Yeah. A lot of exercise boys in the audience. Congratulations. All right, nice to see.
From there, for the first time anywhere in front of an audience, he transitioned into the diminutive jockey Lyle Dorf.
What do you think is the most important factor in the relationship between horse and jockey?
I wouldn't have to say.
Performing on his knees with prosthetic shoes attached, Dorf wore a satin jockey jacket that wouldn't button over his belly, a tiny mustache, and a bad toupee.
A lot of the guys, when they get in that gate like that, and as soon as those horses take off, they take them right to the inside. I don't do that.
You don't do that?
No. See, I take my horse to the outside like this.
He demonstrated exaggerated lean-into-the-turn riding techniques and absurd stretching exercises.
First thing I do when I get out of bed in the morning, of course, I jump right out of bed like that. Once I hit the floor, I try to warm up with touching my toes. That's the most important thing.
Touching your toes.
And then once I get warmed up, I give it the old like this.
After performing a full sit-up, he sprang back up impossibly fast on his hidden knees while Carson sat almost helpless.
I try to get right into the setup.
Sit-ups?
Oh, yeah, that's very important. Give it this you can. And of course, I and then I just...
Hal Linden, promoting Black's Magic, was the other guest that night. The audience reaction inside that studio is exactly what created the entire Dorf on Golf franchise the following year. Wikipedia and Mental Floss both confirm it. Number 4, Tim Conway and Richard Pryor duo.
You get paid for the thing you love to do, as they say.
To go out and entertain an audience, to bear yourself in front of an audience, just to get a couple of laughs and make other people smile when you're so miserable.
And take home a few thou a week, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the important thing.
That's the main
yeah,
thing.
That's the main thing.
At number 4 sits January 12th, 1979, where the setup alone is comedy gold. Tim Conway and Richard Pryor on the same couch. Tim opened by bluntly making a joke on why he was there tonight, a riff on the famously modest Tonight Show guest fees.
A lot of people don't think we're in it for the money, but I am.
I've often heard that.
Yeah.
You got in it just for the
a lot
money.
of people think I want to get to the top. That's not necessarily so. No. Paycheck's the big thing to me. I don't particularly care about ratings or anything if the paycheck clears.
Later in the same episode, a doctor named Lendon Smith launched into a long, unstoppable monologue, and that's when it happened. Tim and Richard Pryor lost it completely.
You have a question for the doctor, Richie, about...
Pryor literally slid off the couch laughing, while Tim's stone-faced reactions to one of the most fearless comics in American history collapsing right next to him stand as the comic highlight of the entire episode.
Yeah, I'm doing some research on...
I just wonder if you had an opinion on it.
I'm doing some... Were you ticklish? Were you ticklish?
No.
Making Richard Pryor break is, in itself, a comedy history feat, and Tim Conway pulled it off while playing the situation entirely straight. Number 5, the Burnett-Conway double act.
I play the world champion. I become the world champion, and Don is my trainer. It's a serious drama.
Did box when you were in school?
Yes, I did. Yes, I was a champion one year, and then the next year I had a picture of me in the front page of the paper coming out of the ring into the third row, which ended.
August 10th, 1979, was the night when Carol Burnett walked out onto Johnny Carson's couch and sat down right beside Tim Conway. What followed was the only sustained Burnett-Conway double act ever to take place on the Tonight Show stage.
Carol was correcting your grammar with Don
She
Knotts.
should.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so Don Knotts and I are in this thing with...
No, Don Knotts and me.
If it's a subject, you use Don Knotts and I. If it's you say with, it's Don Knotts and me.
Right.
Really
See,
not a thing.
what to do is you leave out Don Knotts and you say, with me.
He's going to get steamed about this. He's really... I don't think we can cut him out of it.
Carol arrived to promote her new show, Carol Burnett and Company, while Tim was promoting his film The Prize Fighter, and rounding out the bill that evening were dialect coach Robert Easton and gymnast Tracy Talavera. With perfect deadpan, Tim claimed he never received invitations to Hollywood parties.
You know, you guys are talking about Hollywood. How come I wasn't invited to the Hollywood party last night? I've never actually been to a Hollywood party. I've been to a couple at your house.
Well, they're not Hollywood parties, they're kiddie birthday parties.
I went to one, Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet's anniversary. Were you at that? Or,
No, I wasn't invited.
I wasn't invited
Yeah,
either.
gee, that's the only one I've been.
Then proceeded to tell the story of his car going missing at one of the rare parties he did manage to attend.
I pulled up and a guy in a red jacket said, can I take your car? And I said, yeah. And I said, do I need a ticket? And he said, no, I don't think so. And that's the last I saw him or my car. Stole my car.
You gave it to some guy wearing a red jacket?
Yeah. Well, if a guy comes up and you're parking for a party, I think a guy comes up in a red coat and says, can I have your car? Wouldn't you give it to him?
I guess so.
I did.
The chemistry between Tim and Carol, playing off each other on Carson's couch instead of the Burnett soundstage, generated a string of ad-libs that left Johnny cracking up. Number 6. Tim Conway has nothing to talk about.
Yeah, the show and so forth. Normally what we do on the show, and all shows do it, whoever we book comes in, talks to one of our talent coordinators, we kind of get some areas to talk about. I've been here many times. I feel really kind of dumb sitting here as a friend, having to go down here and so on, so on, so on, so on. Sit and just rap without all of this silliness.
Tim Conway appeared again on May 18, 1982. The entire premise of this appearance was that Tim genuinely had nothing to promote and nothing to say. Sitting down beside Carson, he announced this fact flat out. Then proceeded to spin nearly the whole segment out of that empty premise, conjuring imaginary projects, fake plans, and made-up family anecdotes.
And no, I really don't go out too much socially. And no, I stay pretty much within the confines of my cardboard box. And just try to remain in the neighborhood itself. Yeah,
Carson, instead of bailing him out the way most hosts would have, leaned in and let the awkward emptiness become the comedy itself. This is the masterclass for any comic who ever wanted to study how to turn "I have no material" into the material.
No, I went to one Hollywood party and my car was stolen.
Really, had the valet parking?
No, I went to Beverly Hills, big stuff. The valet parking. A guy came out with a red coat and he said, can I take your car? And I said, yeah, and that was it. Really? It was a party for Steve and Edie, their anniversary or something. The guy said, yeah. I said, do I need a ticket? He said, I don't think so.
Tim's deadpan against Johnny's uncontrollable laughter has been clipped and reposted across social media for years. Number 7. The Dorf Act.
I noticed or read where you scored about 20 points a game. How can you possibly score 20 points a game?
John, what I do is I wait until the other team gets the ball.
Right.
Then I just run down to the other end. Then I set up my position like this.
Right.
And then they just run into me, bang, like this. And then I pretty much...
Number 7 brings us to March 17, 1987, St. Patrick's Day. Tim Conway emerged as Dorf, billed as the smallest member of the Los Angeles Lakers, with Harry Anderson from Night Court and singer Diane Shure sharing the couch that night.
But do you ever actually get to handle the ball during the game?
I do. Once in a while, they'll get it to me. I'm pretty doggone good the ball handler, you know. I'm short, but once they get it to me, I got it. It's hard.
Performing the character on his hidden knees with prosthetic shoes attached, Tim explained that a player his height enjoyed unique advantages, including a different smell of the game closer to the floor.
Johnny, at my height, I not only see a different game, I smell a different game.
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, I'm dealing mostly in shoes and socks.
Oh, yeah, I see.
You know what I mean? See, so, beginning of the season, it's not too bad, but as that season goes on, we're talking a waffle, you know what I mean?
Across Johnny's stage he dribbled, finishing with a triumphant dunk that defied every law of physics the audience thought they understood.
And actually dunk a basketball?
That's right, that's
How can
right.
that humanly be possible?
Well, I have a little assistant, and I just try to get up on the tee like that. Just kind of balance like that. And see, I can maneuver it. Once I get down there, I set myself up. And if you just catch me that ball, and then I just give it like that.
Plenty of fans ranked Dorf as the funniest of all Tim's Carson stage Dorf demonstrations, precisely because it leans even harder into pure physical comedy than the original jockey sketch did.
Oh, wise guy, you said do a basketball player, remember? We were at Harvey's birthday party, and you're the one who said that I think this will work, so it's all your fault.
Well, you came on here one night, you did a weightlifter. Mm-hmm. Then you did a jockey.
An elf.
An elf.
This has become my life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number 8. The two legendary jokes. This is from the second half of that very first 1977 appearance, where Tim delivered two of the most quoted lines of his entire Carson run. The first centered on his cure for stage fright.
I know a lot of people who are performers now who found it excruciating to appear in front of people. Did you get the feeling that everybody, all the attention was on you?
Yeah, that must be it, because
How did you overcome that?
Well, I told this to a guy, and he said, why don't you go to a doctor, and he'll straighten it out for you.
What the doctor had advised him to do before walking onto a stage, and how Tim did it, that made the stage fright vanish completely, was way too hilarious.
The doctor said, he talked to my wife, and he said, what you should do is occupy his mind before he goes on. So I went to one show, and I noticed that she was talking a lot and kept saying, but she was telling me about a lot of bills that we'd run up. And I actually got sick about the bills that we were running up. And did the
thing on your wife?
I don't know, it just kind of went away, and then I never had it again.
The second line came from his explanation for why he was always trying to crack up Harvey Korman on the Carol Burnett show.
So you get to him easier than he gets to you. You can break him up. Harvey's a pretty easy breakup.
Yeah.
At least for you.
Well, that started kind of, we were in the dressing room one day during the Burnett show, and he had on a chicken outfit with red stockings and big chicken feet and feathers.
Was he in a sketch or just
no, he just come in from home.
I just wanted to...
There was, Tim revealed, a $50 bet running between the two of them, and he explained how it exactly worked. Then came the punchline, deadpan as ever.
Yeah, you can just give him a little, a little wink.
We had a $50 bet going that if I could break him up, he'd give me 50, and if he could break me up, he'd give me 50. And he put 3 of my kids through school.
Both lines stand as perfect tag jokes from a single legendary debut episode. Number 9, the 13th joke.
Yes, this is a very serious detective. We don't horse around anymore. I'm really doing a very serious show this time. Excuse me. I can say that in case people look at it and don't laugh.
That's right.
You know what the heck?
It was meant to be funny.
Yeah.
Sliding in at number 9 is Tim Conway's 1983 appearance promoting his short-lived detective sitcom Ace Crawford, Private Eye. He shared the couch with Jodie Foster, who was promoting Svengali, alongside stand-up Maureen Murphy, with Tommy Newsom subbing in as bandleader for Doc Severinsen that evening.
Running around with a little sidekick, Joe Rigglebudo, who is now doing what I would do 20 years ago. He's getting all the mud and everything all over him, and I'm sitting there going, that's too bad. So,
Tim leaned on his now legendary 13WKS joke, a reference to the vanity license plates he had actually ordered after watching show after show of his Get Canceled around the 13-week mark.
There was a flutter there that I did recognize, yes. Well, it's been a banner year for me, Johnny. Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Well, what with this new series coming out and everything, this'll about do it for me.
Right there on national television, he pretended to lobby Carson for one final episode of Ace Crawford. What made the self-aware angle land was that Tim was openly turning his own track record of solo TV failures into ongoing material.
This is not your first series.
No, 8 is my lucky number. We're rolling along with this one. Yeah, this'll do it for me. Yeah.
Right.
Actually, this one's a hit, so we're not worried about that one. The others were. Yeah, the others were a little shaky, but this one's right over the top already. We're already renewed for 5 years. And
the joke cut even deeper because Carson, fiercely protective of his guest list, kept inviting Tim back during this exact stretch when his solo vehicles kept flopping. Number 10, the regular guy segment. By October 15th, 1987, Tim and Johnny had developed the kind of rapport in the late Carson era that no longer required a written bit between them. Joining the lineup that night were stand-up Kevin Rooney, Jester Hairston from the sitcom Amen, and a real-life carpet cleaner named Donald O. Cram, who, just 24 hours earlier, had been mistakenly notified that he was a Nobel Prize winner. Tim wove himself directly into that absurd regular guy segment Johnny adored, escalating the situation and feeding lines to a man who genuinely believed for an entire day that he held a Nobel laureate's title. The whole appearance feels like pure late-period Conway. Looser and more conversational than the early years, yet still capable of tipping a whole segment into chaos with one perfectly timed deadpan reaction. Spanning roughly 10 years between 1977 and 1987, this Chagrin Falls, Ohio native Tim Conway took an ordinary talk show couch and turned it into a stage for some of the cleanest, sharpest comedy of the entire Carson era. Tim Conway passed in May of 2019 at the age of 85 after a long illness. Born Thomas Daniel Conway in Willoughby, Ohio, on December 15, 1933, he came into the world as the son of an Irish immigrant father and a Romanian immigrant mother. Military service filled the years between 1956 and 1958 with the U.S. Army. Bowling Green State University followed before he broke into national television playing Ensign Charles Parker on McHale's Navy starting in 1962. By the time he finally walked onto Johnny Carson's stage in 1977, he had already become a household name. The trophy shelf included 6 Primetime Emmy Awards, a Golden Globe, a Hollywood Walk of Fame star dedicated in February of 1989, induction into the Television Academy Hall of Fame in 2002, and Disney Legend status in 2004. Beyond the awards, what he left behind on Johnny Carson's couch captured exactly what made him uniquely funny. The deadpan, the timing, the willingness to commit to a premise no matter how thin or how absurd. From pretending he didn't know what Johnny did for a living, to becoming Lyle Dorf, to getting his tie stuck in a paper towel dispenser, Tim turned every Carson sit-down into a small piece of comedy history. Thanks to the official Johnny Carson channels, every single one of these moments still lives out there tonight, for anyone who grew up watching the show and for anyone discovering it for the first time.